say the one question that was asked by Jyoti is, can you please explain reading the t-test table once more? So let me first of all help Jyoti, and after that the Gaurav has asked another question, that is, I have a doubt, when we set a high level of significance, then which type of error is likely to enhance, type 1 or type 2? Please explain. So these are the two questions. So let me tell you, the first of all, the Jyoti which she has asked. So let me show you the T table. Jyoti, this is the T table. And in this T table, how exactly we understand whether our calculated value is significant or not? Please understand, there is a two-tailed and one tail. The two-tail means that you have a normal probability curve and it has the two tail. One is this, other is this. One on the left hand side and another is on the right hand side. And this does not touch the x-axis. Why? Can any one of you tell me why it doesn't touch the x-axis? Why the normal probability curve does not touch the x-axis or the horizontal axis? I'm waiting for your answer. No. Sharma ji, think again. Can you conduct a research where there is no error? The answer is no. So error cannot be zero. And when error cannot be zero, then it cannot touch your horizontal axis. There will be some error. Now, the error here is 5%, 0.05. This 0.05 you divide into two parts. It will be 0.025. You can see here, it is 0.025. So this dark blue color means your error is less than 0.025. And another dark on the left hand side, here also error is 0.025. This or less. Now, if your value lies here, then it means the error is less. And if the error is less, the value is significant. So in the two tail, you require a higher value of the statistic, whether it is T or whether it is correlation or whether it is chi-square, whatever it is. You require a higher value. A higher value will be significant only at two-tail test. Because in two-tail, the percentage of the error is equally divided. For example, I normally give one example. I don't know whether you will like or not. Suppose you have a banana and it is bad from the middle. And if you have to divide into two equal parts, then some bad and some good part will go to one person. Some bad and some good part will go to the another person. So the bad is equally divided on both the sides. But if you cut it in such a way so that the complete bad goes to the one person and all good goes to the another person, this will be one tail. You can see it here. The error is on one side, either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. So this is the error 0.05. You can see it here. Because you have not equally divided. You keep it on the one side. So when error is more, that means your value should be a low value, then it will be significant. See here, if there is a value here, then in the two tail it is not significant because the error is more than 5%. But if you see over here, then you will find that it is significant. So a value which is not significant in the two-tail test, it will become significant in the one-tail test. Now you can see the table here. That this is the one tail, this is two-tail value. If your DF is 1, then your value will be significant at 0.05 level if your value is equal to 12.706. But if you take the same value at the one-tail test, then the value should be 6.314. So this is for the one-tail test and this is for the two-tail test. So two-tail test value will be always higher because the error is less. And in one tail, the error is more because the amount of the error is equally divided in two tail. So ultimately the error is dividing. So the on one side error becomes less. And in one tail, you are not dividing, you are keeping the complete error on one side. So therefore your value, which is significant in the one tail test, may not be the significant in the two tail test. You see here, if DF is 1, and if your calculated value is 6.314, then this value is not significant at the two-tail test, but it is significant at the one-tail test. So this is the point that you should try to understand here. So therefore the value at the one-tail test, you require a smaller value, and two-tail test, you require a higher value. So Jyoti, now I'm explaining you how to read it. So you should know that whether you have written the null hypothesis or you have written the directional hypothesis. In the null hypothesis, you have to use the two-tail test. And in directional hypothesis, you have to use the one-tail test. So suppose my DF equal to 26 and my calculated value is equal to 1.87. So it is 26. And because I have formulated a null form, so this is the 0.05 and this is 0.01. So this value is less than 2.056. So Jyoti, is it significant or not? Jyoti, is it significant or not? It is not significant. Why? Because the error is more. Because when you are going on the left hand side, the error is increasing. And when you go on the right hand side, the error decreases. Because here it is 0.05 means 5% error. Here 0.01 means 10% error. Here 0.02 means 20% error. And 30%, 40, 50, and like. And if you go on the right hand side, it is 1% error. It is 1%. No, multiplied by it is 10% and it is 1%. So therefore, that's what, because you have to multiply this one. This one is your, in the two tail, this is the 22% error. Because multiplied by 100, so it is 2% and this becomes 1%. So that means in the two tail test, this particular is 2. That means 2% error and this is the 1% error. Here, this is 5% error. So if you move on the right hand side, the error decreases. If you move on the left hand side, the error increases. But if you have a directional hypothesis, then you have to use one tail test. For one tail test, now you can see the values here, that this is the one tail test and this is the value which is 0.05. So this is the value 0.05. So for one test, it is 0.05. And for one test, this you can see it here. It is 0.10. So it is 0.10. So this is 0.10. Now, if you see the here, so this will be, this is the for the one tail. So this becomes 0.025. Next becomes 0.01. Next becomes 0.005. So therefore, this will be this will be 0.25 because you multiplied by the 2, divided by the 2, 0.05 divided by 2 is the this one, and then you can further divide. So this will be, because 0.05 is divided by 2, it is 0.025. So it is 0.0, sorry, it is 0.025. And when you further divide it, this will be 0.01. And when you further divide it, this will be 0.5. So these are your one tail level of significance. And now you can see that the two tail values are always higher than the one tail because error is less. So Jyoti, is it all right or is it not all right? So you have to decide your degree of freedom. And the formula for degree of freedom I have already given to you. And then you have to decide whether you want to test the null hypothesis or you want to test the directional hypothesis. If it is null hypothesis, then you have to use two-tail test. If it is directional hypothesis, you have to use Jyoti. Is it okay? Then I go to Gaurav. Jyoti, is it okay? All right. Now, Gaurav, your question. Gaurav, your question is that when we set a high level of significance, then which type of error is likely to enhance, type 1 or type 2? Can any participant answer this question? That if you do not want to test your hypothesis at 0.05, but you want to test it at 0.01. So you are decreasing the level of significance. Here he says error is likely to enhance, so increasing. Gaurav, you want the error is increased or error is decreased? Gaurav. Increase. When error is increased, that means from 5% to 10% to 20%, then which type of error is being committed? Is it type 1 or type 2? Let me see which participant can answer this question. Yes, Patnaik, your answer is correct. It is type 1 error. Sapna, your answer is correct. It is type 1 error. Any other participant like to answer? So that means, please see, Gaurav, that if my value, my DF is 26 and my T value is equal to 1.87, then if you have a null hypothesis, then is it significant or not? Gaurav, it is not significant. So therefore, it is not significant. Let us say at 0.05 level. And if it is not significant, what is the meaning? Gaurav, what is the meaning? Gaurav, if the value is not significant, what is the meaning of it? No, Gaurav, what is the meaning of it? If the value is not significant, the meaning is that the means do not differ significantly. and the means do not differ significantly, then null hypothesis is rejected or is not rejected? Gaurav, is not rejected. Now suppose another researcher says that this value, it is significant. It is significant at 0.10 level. What is the meaning? If I say it is significant at 0.10 level, because this is 10 and this is 0.5 and this is 0.2 and this is 0.1 in the two-tailed test. If it is significant at 0.10 level, then what is the meaning? The meaning is, I will say that means differ significantly. And when means differ significantly, इसका मतलब है null hypothesis is what? Is rejected or is not rejected? Gaurav, I'm explaining it to Gaurav. So therefore, is reject. Please see, Gaurav, in reality, the null hypothesis should not be rejected, but the researcher decides to reject it, is called type 1 error. So that means if you keep on moving on the left-hand side, your error keeps on increasing. You see, this is 20%, there may be 30%, 40%, 80%, 90%. You are moving on the left-hand side. So that means your value may be significant at 0.90. 0.90 means 90% error. And if you say that you are rejecting your null hypothesis at 0.90, that means you are ready to accept 90% error. Now, if you accept more error, then whatever will be the result of your research, will it be beneficial to the people or it will not be beneficial? If error is less, will it be beneficial, or if error is more, then it will be beneficial? Gaurav, beneficial, which one? Gaurav, do not ask, write only beneficial. Which one? Error is more or error is less? Less error. So therefore, your type 1 error is more dangerous than the type 2 error. Because in type 1 error, your value is not significant and you are saying it is significant. And in type 2, your value is significant and you are saying it is not significant. So you understand Is it okay, Gaurav, or you want to ask any other question? Any other question do you want to ask, Gaurav? Okay, now should I proceed further? Or any other participant like to ask any question? Because these two people asked me the question, and therefore I'm just thought I must explain them. Any other participant like to ask any question, then I proceed further. If you have no question to ask, then I go to the sampling. So any question to ask, please write. Otherwise, do I proceed further? Now, if I proceed further, though yesterday I explained you some of the technical terms like universe, population, sample, frame, and sampling. And then I explained you the sampling procedure. And I have already listed the sampling procedures that they are under two classes, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. And I have given you the list. Now, do you want me to explain the probability sampling first or non-probability sampling first? Which one you want? Whichever you want, I will start with that. So now I am going to explain you the probability sampling. In probability sampling, I told you that you should have a frame. And you should have a frame means that the size of the population you should know. The population size is known. Now, can you find out how many students are in class 9 in government schools of your city? Is it possible to find out the total number of the class 10 students in government school? Or is it not possible? Devya, think again. So it is possible. It may take more time, but it is not impossible. Now, if you want to find out the total drug addicts in your city, is it possible to find out the total drug addicts? So it's not possible. So that means in case of class 10, you have a frame. So you can find out the population of class 10 students studying in government schools. And if it is so, then it means you can use the probability sampling. Now I am giving you a title, and then you tell me for this title whether probability sampling can be used or the non-probability sampling can be used. I am writing the title. One title I am writing, a study of anxiety of street children of Kanpur. Another I am writing, a study of anxiety of class 10th student of government senior secondary school of Kanpur. Now this is your first one and this is your second one. In which case are you able to write or make the list of the students? So you have understood that in case number one, it is not possible to list. It is not possible to list all street children of Kanpur. So that means the frame is not available. Frame is unknown. And if the frame is unknown, then probability of selecting a street children the probability of selecting a street child from all street children is not possible. So therefore, here you have to use the non-probability sampling. But in the second case, it is possible to make the list of class 10th students, of government senior secondary schools of Kanpur. That means the frame is available. And if frame is available, then it is possible to calculate the probability of selecting a student. So it is possible to calculate of selecting a student from the list of class 10 students. And therefore, you have to use, in the second case, the probability sampling. So from the title of your research, you can find out whether the probability sampling technique you will be using or the non-probability sampling technique you will be using. Is it clear to you, or there is a problem in understanding? Bahadur, you start asking question not from the topic that I am taking, but from something which I am not taking. I am not talking about the references. When I will start teaching you how to write a thesis and how to write a paper, then I will talk about the references. So Bahadur, please help me only by asking the question related to the topic that I'm taking. Because if I shift to the references, then the student may not, or the participant may not really see the linkage. So I'm not going to answer your question. If you are angry, you are angry. I can't help you. Okay. So now you have understood. So from the title, you only can find out whether the probability sampling or the non-probability sampling. Let me give one more example and then I proceed further. Another is a study of relationship of achievement in English. A study of achievement in English in relation to reading comprehension of class 5th students of public schools of Delhi. The fourth is a study of achievement in English in relation to reading comprehension of school dropouts of Delhi. In which case will you use a probability sampling, and in which case will you use a non-probability sampling? Okay. Divya, I have seen your answer. Patnaik, I have seen your answer. Chauhan, I have seen your answer. Sakshi Chauhan, I have seen. Pramod, I have seen your answer. Rajak, I have seen your answer. Gaurav, I have seen your answer. And your answers are correct. Is it difficult or is it easy to find out whether in your research you want to use a non-probability sampling technique or probability sampling technique? So therefore, it's not now very difficult. That is why your sample, your title must include the population. And in the research title, PhD thesis, which are uploaded in the Shodh Ganga, they do not have the complete population information in the title. And if you do not have the complete information in the title, then you cannot decide whether it is a probability sampling technique or it is a non-probability sampling technique. So let us now go ahead. Now I have to explain you the probability sampling technique. Now, there are two situations. Number one is your population is not widespread, and another is your population is widespread. Now, if your population is not widespread, then you have further. Number one is your population is homogeneous. Homogeneous. And another is your population is heterogeneous. Is heterogeneous. Is your heterogeneous. If your population is homogeneous, then can you tell me which sampling technique can you use? If your population is homogeneous, then which sampling technique do you use? Yes, it is a random sampling technique. This is the one. What can be another one? Another one is systematic sampling technique. Now, if your population is heterogeneous and it is not widespread, if your population is heterogeneous and not widespread, then which sampling technique will be more useful? Yes, But tell me the complete name. Sharma, Haldar Sharma, complete name. Gaurav Sharma, complete name. Because you have not given the complete name. Tell me the complete name. Sharma ji and Gaurav ji, complete name. No, Gaurav, sorry, you have not given the complete name. Divya, you have not given the complete name. That's wrong, beta. When your population is heterogeneous, then it is stratified random sampling. This is the correct name. It's not stratified sampling. That is the wrong name. It is the stratified random sampling. And another is stratified proportionate random sampling. So these are the two which will be part and parcel of when your population is not widespread and it is heterogeneous. But if your population is widespread, then which sampling technique you use? Widespread means that your population is not from Kanpur, it is from whole of UP. So Kanpur is not widespread, whole of UP is widespread. If you take UP and you take whole of India, then whole of India will be the widespread and Kanpur will not, and UP will not be the widespread. So which one is widespread and which one is not widespread? It is relative. So you have to decide in the context. So when your population is widespread, then the techniques available with you is, can you name the technique which is available with you? Very nice. Patnaik, your answer is correct. Gaurav, your answer is correct. Johan, your answer is correct. So therefore, if it is that, then one is called cluster sampling. Cluster sampling technique. And there is another one which is called multi-stage sampling technique. So you should understand the books will not give you this information. Now, let me first explain you that if your population is not widespread, if your population is not widespread and if it is homogeneous, let me take one title. So then it is a random sampling technique. So let me explain you the random sampling technique. So here I'm explaining you the random sampling technique first. So let me write a title. If I have a title like this, a study of achievement in English in relation to reading comprehension, in relation to English reading comprehension of class 5th students of public schools of Lucknow. Now, from the title, can you tell me whether you will be using the random sampling, or you will be using the systematic sampling, or you will be using the stratified random sampling, etc. Is it possible to know from the title or not? Patnaik, this is not correct. From the title, you cannot find out. From the title, you only can find out that here it is the probability sampling technique that you will be using. You cannot find out whether it will be random sampling or whether it will be the stratified random sampling. That you will do only from the objective. If I write objective like this, I'm writing objective. One objective I write to study the correlation between achievement in English and English reading comprehension of students. Now here you should have students, whether it is male or female. It is not written here. And these students, they must be from class 5th of the public schools of Lucknow. So that means your students will be class 5th and public school. So it is a homogeneous one. So if it is a homogeneous one, then here it is the random sampling technique that you want to use. Suppose I have another one to study the contribution of achievement in English, to study the contribution of achievement in English in predicting or to study the contribution of English reading comprehension in predicting achievement in English of students. Now here, if you use it is the product movement correlation. If you see here, it is not the product movement correlation, it is regression. Regression analysis. That means in case of probability sampling, it is the objective which will tell you whether you want to use the random sampling technique or you want to use the stratified random sampling or stratified proportionate random sampling. Now in this case, I have not stratified. It is only the class 5th students. That's all. I have not written male, I have not written female. I have not written joint family, I have not written English. I have not written English medium or Hindi. I have not written anything. So therefore, if you are writing the objective something like this, then my dear friend, you will be using the random sampling technique. So your random sampling technique will be decided by your objective. But from the title, you can find out whether you want to use the probability sampling technique or a non-probability sampling technique. Is this point clear or not? Is this point clear to you or you want to ask a question? I'm waiting for your response. Only Patnaik has given the answer. I want to know from other participants, have you understood or should I give more example? Three participants have given. Patnaik, from the objective, why it is not clear? Patnaik, you say, from the objectivity says to study the correlation between achievement in English and English reading comprehension of student. Here it is not written male and female student. It is written student. It may be male, it may be female, it does not make a difference. It may be from urban area or a rural area, it doesn't make, it has to be student and student from class 5th. So from the objective, it is very clear. If I write objective like this, you see, to study the correlation between achievement in English and reading comprehension of male and female students separately. That means if you have this as an objective, then you cannot select your sample using the random sampling technique. Why? Because random sampling technique may not get you both male as well as female. It is not. Because random sampling technique, it is a homogeneous group. And if it is a homogeneous, then you are not bifurcating it into male and female. So therefore, in the random sampling technique, your population must be a homogeneous group. Is that okay, Patnaik? You want more example? I can give more example. No problem at all. Now, yes, sir means should I give more example, or is it you have understood? Okay. So therefore, if you have something like this, then it means you have to have the sampling technique. Now, how will you do? How will you select? In the second one, it's the same thing. In the second one, if you write like this, that to study the contribution of English reading comprehension in predicting achievement English of male and female students separately. If this is the one, then you cannot use, then you have to use the stratified random sampling technique. Why? Because your population must be bifurcated gender-wise. From class 5th students, you have to find out males and you have to find out females. So it is not a random sampling technique. It is a stratified random sampling technique. Patnaik, is it all right, or you want more example? I can give you another example, no problem. Jyoti, more example. All right. Let me see. If suppose I have something like this. If I have something like this, if I say like this, to study influence of gender, types of school, and their interaction on achievement in English. आप जाओ वहाँ, वहाँ एसी है, यहाँ बहुत गर्मी है। आप तो देखने आए थे, अभी नीचे जा रहे हैं, 20 मिनट बाद आते हैं। हाँ, मैं आ रहा हूँ। So if you have like this to study the influence of gender, types of school, and their interaction on achievement in English of students. Now, if this is your objective, then what is the meaning? Can you tell me that your population should be bifurcated on the basis of what? That your population is, first of all, you are bifurcated on the basis of gender. That means you must know how many males are there and how many females are there. Then you have to bifurcate Then in case of male, how many are in the government school and how many are in the private school? Similarly, in case of a female, you should know how many are in the government schools and how many are in the private school. So this male studying in government school will be the one stratum. The male studying in private school is another stratum or another group. Females studying in government school is another one, and females studying in private school is another group. So there will be 4 groups. So I'll say there are 4 strata. Stratum is singular and strata is plural. If this is your objective, then you cannot use the random sampling technique. Absolutely no. So you have to use other than the random sampling technique. Is it clear, Jyoti, or you want more example? So therefore, you cannot have these. So if you have to use the random sampling technique, then your objective should be something like this. If you have more variables in the title, then you can write more objective, no problem at all. So if it is C, this, then you will be selecting on the basis of random sampling. Random sampling technique. Now, random sampling technique, in this one, you have number 1, the different methods of random sampling. Methods of random sampling. One is called the cheat method, or you can say fish bowl method. Now, fish bowl means what? If there is a container and in that container you have water, and in that water you have put some fish, will the fish jump randomly or they will jump in a particular sequence? How will they jump? Randomly or in a particular sequence? Randomly. So therefore, you have cheat method or fish bowl method, anything you can say. Now, what is the meaning of cheat method? Cheat method means you should make the cheat, the slip, for each person only one slip. And on that slip, you can write the name of the person, or if you have already made a list, then you can write the serial number of the person. So how many cheats can you make comfortably? Is it 1,000, 250, 40? How many cheats can you make very easily? how many chits will you be able to make easily? Is it 40, 50, 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000? How many? I'm waiting for your answer. Maximum 100. If you want to make 200 slips, it will take time. If you want to make 1,000 slips, it will be very time consuming. So therefore, your chit method will be useful only when your population size is small. It is used when the population size is about 100. If you have more, you say I can make 120. Okay, go ahead. You make 120 chits. I have nothing to do. But then you only have to understand that time consumed by you will be more. Now, if you want to make the list for the name of the states of India, how many states of India? Only states, not union territory. How many states of India? Chauhan has given one number. Let me see the other participant, what have you to say? How many states of India? It is 28 states and 8 union territories. So is it easy to make 28 slips or it is difficult? It is easy to make the 28 slips or is it difficult? It is easy. So that means if you want to select the states, then it is always advisable to use the chit method. You can have the 28 chits of the same size, of the same color, of the same shape, and you will write the name of the state, or you can make a list of the states and then you can write the serial number. And then you can make a folding. The folding, if you are making 2 folds, then all the chit must have 2 folds, so that you cannot identify a particular state on the basis of the shape of the fold or on the basis of color of the paper or on the basis of any other characteristics. Now, if you have 28 states, how many do you want to select? How many do you want to select? Suppose you want to select 5 states. So out of 28, you want to select 5 states. So you put all the states in one container and you shake it. And after you have shaked it well, then you take out just one slip. And whatever the name on that slip is there, you write down the name of that particular state or the serial number, whatever is on the slip. Suppose the state comes to UP. So your UP state has been selected. Now the probability of selecting UP is 1/28. Now this slip, if I do not replace, then will the probability of selecting another state will be more or less? If I do not replace this, now my number is 28 states. Earlier you selected one state out of 28. Now you select another state out of 27. Then will the probability is different or the probability will be the same? What do you think? It is Patnaik 1/27 is less or more? It's more. Earlier you wrote less. So therefore, the probability will differ. Therefore, in order to keep the probability same, you have to replace that slip again, so that your total slips in the container will always be 28. Now you shake it well and you take out one slip. Now one slip, it comes to Haryana. So the two states have been selected. Now you replace the slip again, so that the total slip in the container becomes 28. Shake it again well. Now take out one slip. And on that slip, the name of the UP is written. So what should you do? Should you consider it or should you not consider it? You have already selected UP. Can you reselect it? The answer is no, you cannot reselect. So if this comes again, then ignore it. Put it in the container, again shake it well, and now take out another. So repeat this particular process till you get the 5 states selected. So the 5 states which you will be getting the names, it will be through random sampling, and you have used the cheat method. And this method is only used when your population size is small. If your population size is large, then can you use a cheat method or do you use some other method? In the random sampling, what can be the other method? What can be the other method that you want to use? What can be the other method that you can use? Yes, Sapna Rana, you are excellent, very good. So you cannot use the cheat method. Then another method that is available is called random sampling. So now it will be random sampling technique that you will be using. And this you can use when your population size can be as large as 10 lakh, as large as 1 crore, as large as whatever it is, absolutely no problem. Only the problem will be, if you have 1 crore, then you have to list the all members of your population. If it is 10,000, you have to list all members. That is the only. Otherwise, there is absolutely no problem you can use. So random sampling technique can be used for selecting sample when the population size is large. The moment I say large, I have said it may be 10,000, it may be 1 crore, it doesn't make a difference. Now, you know, whenever there are elections, our election commission, they do make the list of the people who are casting their vote. And in one particular center where the people have to cast vote, there may be 1,000, there may be 10,000 people who are casting the vote. They have the list. Now, if you have, let us say 10,000, if your population is suppose 10,000, and you want to select sample size is suppose 500, then how many? Then I should give, I make a list, and if I'm making a list, can I start with 1? And then what will be the last number? Last number will be 10,000. Now, if I select, I start with 0, then my last number will be 9999. Now, why it is called a random? Oh, sorry. Random number. Sorry. Random number table. I'm so sorry, please. Random number table. Now, random number table is a table in which there are columns and there are rows. If the number from 0 to 9, each number, each digit appears equal number of the times in rows as well as columns. So the table which comes with this condition, that in the first row, if you count how many times 5 has come, and if you count how many times 1 has come, and how many times 0 has come, all these must appear equal number. If 5 appears 3 times, then 4 should appear 3 times, 3 should appear 3 times, 2 should appear 3 times, 1 should appear 3 times, 0 should appear 3 times, 6 to appear 3 times in each row and each column. Then such a table is called a random number table. I hope you have understood the concept of the random number table. Is the concept of the random number table clear or not? So therefore, now I am closing it here. Okay, because it will take another half an hour or maybe more than that to explain you this thing. Now, when I come tomorrow, then you have to tell me that if I have 10,000 and if I want to select 500, then how many columns I should take at a time, or how many rows I should take at a time. You think about it and come back tomorrow with the answer of the question. Any question you want to ask, then I proceed further. It is a very big number. You go to Gaurav, go to Google and type random number table and see the table yourself. Those people who are interested, they should go to Google, and in Google you type random number table. It will immediately give you the random number table and you can see it yourself. It's a very, very big table. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. Keep learning.